Hello, another episode of YONICHAT. This one's going to answer, what do you feel is missing with your sex? What would make sex better for you? And what do you feel men lack in sex? So we're going to get Farron's opinion on this, and his eyes were open, so I hope you guys watch this and also have the same experience. A lot of good information. I liked it. Here you go.
You're welcome. You know, I was going to say that.
Right? And it feels good to talk about it because in reality, we don't always say that to the guy.
Yeah.
We don't say
you
know what?
Hardly ever. Yeah.
And we don't want to be hurtful. Like, we don't want to,
I think as women, we tend to just take a lot from...
We take the L.
Yeah, we just take it. Because a lot of the times we're left hanging, but again, like you said, we don't want to hurt their feelings, and they're feeling very great about themselves in that moment. Like, I just did an amazing thing. But realistically, we're like,
you just like sweaty and
reached that level of even coming.
And it's scary.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe you got a tingle going, right?
Enough to get there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we tend to just take the L and just be like, no,
it's over now.
Yeah, it's over now. Many times.
Get up and go pee.
Yeah.
You get up and you go pee. That's how sex ends.
And then I think also that's what results to a lot of women maybe faking the orgasms because they don't even put the effort into it anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because you just know what's coming.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know what's coming. Okay, then
make it come faster. Make it come faster so you can go do your shit.
Yeah. So you're all excited, and then you think about it, you're like,
the excitement's like right up until you get started, and you're like, oh, we're gonna go into the routine now.
Yeah.
So dry and you hum.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
It's crazy because, like I said, like this last experience I had, like in a relationship with a guy, like I felt like I experienced that for the first time. So it was just like I feel like I didn't want to depress myself into thinking that like I had just lost this great, awesome thing by experimenting with like the same sex just because like I could, now. Yeah. And then like to experience like that high expectation would, and then experiencing like a low, outcome of it, I was just like, oh, wow, like interesting. Like it's just like, okay, now I get it. Like I am who I am in this sexual experience, like it just, not a lot of people can change that about themselves. So it makes me appreciate what I have like experienced more. Yeah, definitely. So I feel like that's matured me in so many ways, like more than I could ever say like before in my life. And to think that I'm like only 21, and it's like that's crazy to think that like in their generation before, like they were saying like times have changed, like times have definitely changed. And I feel like, not to like bring in politics with it, but like it definitely like gives people a more sense of like what's going on, and like making them understand that kind of culture is acceptable now. So I feel like this is a great like
normalizing it. We're normalizing it, and that's the whole point of this too, is to normalize talking about sex, to normalize talking about what we're not getting in sex and what we want more of. Because it's like you said, like we never want to talk about that. We never want to advocate for what we want. You just take it, especially as women. So like just by talking about it, bringing more awareness, and not only it lets men know that, hey, you have a lot of women that are faking it, so they're lying to you, but they're lying to you for a good reason, right? So you have to understand that. So when you're with a woman, ask. Like you have to ask her, did she come? What is she like? Ask her if this feels good. Don't just go through the motions and pump till you jump. Like that's not gonna do nothing for nobody. So it's a two-way street, right? Women, we have to ask, advocate more, and that's hard for us to do. So I know for men, it's very helpful when a man can ask you, and that shows he's interested. First thing it says is, oh, he's interested in my pleasure. He's not just here for a nut, right? And so that opens the door, and so then she'll start to say, oh yeah, I like this, or oh, that's too hard, or like you have a hangnail, I can feel it. Always that shit has happened. It happens. It happens. We're gonna talk about that later. So let's switch it up and let's talk about, what do you feel like makes good sex? Because I know we have different. What makes good sex? So let's start with whoever wants to go first.
You guys go first.
Passion, definitely passion. Like if it's there, it's there. If you share that like mutual interest, that spark, then it's just like what makes the bed hotter, or like
it makes the
like,
bed hotter.
You're just like, you do that like like I feel like there's like dirty talk is seen as like a bad thing, but honestly it's just like, if you like it, like, why not express it? Because it complements both of you guys.
It adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah,
makes it hotter.
definitely. It's like the kerosene. You're just like, okay, like, we're really getting somewhere with this. So you're right. Like, we definitely need to advocate more as women, because we do take that. Like, we're the ones that like give life afterwards. You know, like there's chances for us that are more scarier than guys, and like that's the honest truth about it. That like, even though this may be like something great, like, what if it's not, like, in the future tense, like, what if it's not going to be this great? Like, it could be like a continuous pattern, but you'll never know, because it's just like, you also fear this risk of like falling in love, you know? Yeah. And so it's just like, we need to realize that those are two different things within themselves. So I think that's like a but passion is definitely something that just like, that's what makes sex what it is.
Yeah. I think to add on to that, I don't know if it's because I'm like a Pisces or
Pisces.
Like, I like really need to love someone when I have sex with them, and I think because I love them, that's when passion gets there. So it's like when I first like start dating someone, it's like when you have sex for the first time, it's not as comfortable. It's kind of just like trying it out. But when you're really in love with that person and you like are comfortable doing the nasty things that you want to do, it's like it's that much more satisfying. And like, at least in my relationships, my partner has always like made sure that I was good. Like, they made sure that I came, instead of like just kind of just having sex just for them to have sex. So I think that emotional connection for me is really important, because it allows me to like open up with them, and I don't know, emotionally and physically.
I think definitely emotion, you have to have that connection. I feel, not have to, but it definitely enhances the whole experience if you are just, you know, you're one with that person. Do you know what I mean? You have those feelings for that person. All you want to do is be in their arms, or just have, do you know what I mean? It's like
you want to feel them.
Thing. You really need to be on that same page with that person, and it just makes the lovemaking even more just amazing. Do you know what I mean? For me personally, I do enjoy to have, you know, like, you know, quick, crazy sex. That's great, but I find the most enjoyable for me is when I'm just emotionally connected to that person. You know what I mean?
I think it's like the difference between like going on like maybe like a kiddie roller coaster, and then going on like a big kids roller coaster where you're just like fucking like, you know? Even the little kiddie roller coaster, like, ooh, that came, or that felt good. I got a little feeling of some connection, you know, it's good. But like when you have that, like, you're just like riding with them, and it feels deeper than your vagina. It feels like your soul. And I think that's,
and you come different. You really do.
Oh my God, you come so differently.
It's a whole different orgasm. It really is.
It's a soulgasm.
Yes, girl.
Soulgasm.
That's a great way to put it.
Right? Requirement now.
Yes, my checklist.
The checklist is just, burn it.
We're giving interviews to guys. Hi, my name's Therese. First of all, can you provide me with the soulgasm?
Yeah, right.
If not, bye.
Yes, that's so true. Anybody else want to tell us?
I feel like we're all on the same page with that.
Passion. So connection, basically. Connection, like you want to feel like that person wants more of you than your body. And that's what it comes down to. And it definitely shows in the way also that you have sex and that they please you. Because it's like when somebody's interested in you and they like you, they will make sure, like, you know, did you like this or did you like that? But if you're there for, you know, just the orgasm, then, or, you know, for the nut, then those do that. But then the other thing is ignorance. A lot of, you know, our sex education, like, where does that come from? Right? So we have a lot of people out here who might like the fuck out of you, but they can't show it in bed because all they know is sex is fucking Pornhub. And they just do, you know, a little jackrabbit thing and go. And then maybe they've had partners who haven't voiced their, you know, their concerns and their complaints. And so they keep going thinking that they're doing it right. And everybody's drying up in the meantime. So So it's definitely a need, a need for education on all fronts. Even the education to fucking talk about it. If we aren't feeling open enough to talk about sex, we think it's like shameful and hush hush, especially men. Women, we talk about this a lot more. We talk, just in case you guys didn't know, we will talk, okay, we will give reviews. We will make comparisons, we'll compare shop. So men, what I feel like they don't do that enough, and that, especially the men I've talked to, they don't, it doesn't seem like they are talking about things like we talked about, like I was missing connection, or like, we did this, it was quick, or it wasn't good, or I cried.
Right.
Like that's not something that typically comes out of, a man's mouth. And it's because of that vulnerability.
Right.
That vulnerability is something, that
they're definitely more like appearance based. Like look at her like in this picture.
Or I had sex with her.
Yeah.
Appearance based.
Right.
Like I had sex. It's very this kind of conquest energy around having sex with women in the dating arena, especially not as much within relationships, but the dating arena. So I want to ask you guys before we get on to the next one. Tinder. So who here has gone on a Tinder date?
A Tinder date?
Tinder dates. So we know you went on a Tinder date. It was your first ever one. How was your last Tinder date?
It was this guy the one who is a professor right now at NYU, Ralph Simmons. Like, he's like a fashion kid. But the thing is, like, he would hold my hand or like try to like kiss me, but I had just gotten out of a relationship and I've like gone on a date with him before. It was just super like, he was like overstepping his boundaries by like putting his body onto mine.
And like, personal space.
Right. Yeah. And I thought it was just more like
for a first date.
Yeah, it's kind of it was like second date, but like I don't know. It was just kind of like I wanted to hang out with him, and then like maybe the next date would have been like, oh, okay, like
so a little too fast.
Yeah, I feel like that's what women think. Like,
they want to know
also,
you.
Tinder's like, some people say like, "Well, you signed up for Tinder," and I'm like,
it doesn't mean that. That's not a pass. That's not a pass. Just be an asshole and try to get some pussy. No, that is terrible.
Honestly, that's why guys are on Tinder.
Yeah.
For the growth aspect, we're there.
Yeah.
We're there exploring, because I've been there. It depends. Because I've been there to hook up too. I'm not gonna lie.
I put the Tinder app for like a day, and then or maybe 2 days, and then that was it. I couldn't do it because every question was sex related.
Yeah.
Every question.
The first one.
Sex related.
Hey,
can I send
what are
you
you doing?
I mean, hello. Yeah, no.
I don't know.
I'm good.
Hey, how's your day? You wanna fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
That's what it is, right?
Do you want to know what I think the funniest thing about Tinder is? They might actually be some decent guys on there, but because they probably failed so miserably in dating, they feel like they just want to have just quick sex. So Tinder is the easiest way because there's people like them who just want to have sex.
But if they have met the right person,
sure
they would.
Decent people on there, but then they end up presenting this douchebag version of themselves because they feel like, oh, it's not going to be anything anyway, so I might as well just find a girl who's
like, have you seen the thing that says like nobody even reads this? Like on the profile, nobody reads profiles. Nobody reads bios anyway, so they don't put anything.
I used to put like a 10-page letter on mine.
Yeah,
like all the time.
Exactly, and that's
I love doing this. In the end, I was like, why am I bothering?
Right? You're like, I love writing.
They're asking me questions that are already on my profile. Like, have you got this? I'm like, but it's on my profile. That's how I knew they don't read it.
Yeah,
they
just like, oh, I like the way she looks.
About the appearance.
There are some nice guys though. I'm talking to a guy right now from Tinder, and he's really attractive. But he's also like really sweet. Like we've been texting for the past like week, I guess, and like we like plan to hang out when I go back to New York.
Oh, cool!
Wow, that's
yeah. There are definitely some sweet guys. I've dated a few guys. Wait, hold on. Okay. I've dated 2 guys from Tinder. I've gone on dates with maybe like 5 guys from Tinder though. Like, I'm over here. I got time. Doing my thing. So I went on some Tinder dates, and a lot of times it was like the person didn't seem like who they were. You know, it's always like that, right? And that's the risk you take, is you have to meet them in person and see. I met 2 guys on Tinder that I actually dated for a long period of time. It was more long distance, and I liked them. They were cool. You know, I still consider them to be, friends, men that I respect. So, hi. So yeah, like there's definitely some good guys on there, and it really just depends on, I think, the foot that you put forth is how you're gonna lead. So for me, I was very, very upfront with what I wanted, and I feel like as long as you're the same, You can grow into anything.
My bio is literally who's trying to fall in love.
Oh, what? She's so poetic. She's smooth as hell.
Right?
I'm not that smooth. I'm like, do you know how to have non-ejaculatory orgasms? Yeah, that doesn't really work that well. But yeah. So anybody else have any Tinder stories you want to share? No? Farron, okay, so you guys just take a pause. We have our guest here.
Hi.
He's our only male guest tonight. His name's Farron. And you see that behind you? That's for you.
I'm scared of that.
No, it's the pretty bottle.
The Versace.
Yeah.
Versace?
It's the Versace bottle, yeah.
Just
Cheers
water.
to
I like
Farron.
Hey.
Farron loves women. We're going to introduce him in a minute.
Cheers.
Cheers.
But this one, I
Okay.
love this
You need
one.
more? Which one were you doing? The pink?
I can try to think.
Okay.
I got you.
Thank you.
Where's your cup?
Getting refills, you guys. Oh,
Oh.
yes. Do not deny him.
Oh my god.
He would love to do it for you.
Came out so
You was
smooth.
molested.
Right?
Thank
Perfect
you.
timing. Yes. So we're gonna take a break. Go to the bathroom. Let me just talk about myself since we're transitioning. Fine.
No, let's talk about me. So I'm looking for a husband. No, I'm not looking for a husband. I'm looking for a man. No, I'm not really looking for. No, but honestly, if there's any decent guys out there, I'm gonna just put my application out right now. So yeah.
And you have to pass through my process
you have
of
to.
application.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I ain't just gonna let nobody holler at my friend.
Right, you know.
Okay, so don't just bring
I'm a
your
good
raggedy
girl.
dick pics
I'm a
through
nice
the thing.
girl. And
She
like,
wants to be
I don't-
courted. Court her like a
Yes.
lady.
I don't want to finish last. I'm tired of finishing last. Nice girls finish last all the time. So no more nice girl
It
finish
does
last.
feel that way sometimes.
It
huh?
does.
You know what? I had a
I
point in
don't
my
know
life.
What do you men want? Like seriously,
I had a point in my life where I said,
don't
you know what?
understand.
I need to be a bitch.
That's me right now. That's how I feel. Like, should I be a bitch? Would that work?
No, don't be a bitch. Be
No,
yourself. Be
because I
yourself.
want to be myself, but I feel like every time I'm myself, you're either too nice, you're not dramatic enough, or do you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
you're perfect.
you're not a drama
The right
queen.
person will be drawn to just the
Well, I
genuineness
hope
of you.
so.
They will do.
I hope so.
Right,
This
you
is a
guys?
commercial break.
Okay, you know where to email me at. cgardner@AskTheTalk.com. Okay, this is. Do you want me to give me? Can I tell him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is DJ Cherry Ice. We'll put that in the comments. Our friend will do that for us. Can you do that?
Yeah, come check it
Cherry
out.
Ice,
You
okay.
know,
Put it in the comments.
I
Thank you.
do a lot of
Please.
Someone
mixes.
asked if you're sharing this one. I think you're saving it.
I am saving it. Okay, so I'm saving this. I know it's long, so I'll probably do it in 2 to 3 parts. But I'm saving it. It's gonna be on YouTube. So don't worry if you gotta go to work or you gotta start. Maybe we've inspired people. They gotta start getting some. Yeah, you guys gotta go do it right now because we've inspired you.
right now.
Like she's talking about girls and stuff. Like I know. Okay, I get it. So go do your thing, and this will be on YouTube. But that does not mean you should just check out. Keep it on. Actually, it's good for background music. Right?
That is true. That is true.
Okay, so do you want to join us now? We made this place here for you.
Right.
Amongst your goddesses.
Yes.
I'm sitting there.
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
loud. And then, like,
Right in the middle of the.
So you're in the.
I'm feel very fortunate.
I
Oh,
I told you he would love it.
that's a great angle.
Yes.
Right?
it
Here we
is.
are.
God.
So
My
this
man-
is Farron.
Hey,
Hey, Farron.
Hey.
You
Smell
smell
nice.
nice.
He does smell nice.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
good.
yes,
He
you
smells
smell
good.
good.
Oh my
that's amazing.
I'm
Everybody-
Shireen.
Shireen,
Everywhere.
Karen.
Yeah, you smell good.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I wish I would have got, geared up.
Yes.
Everybody looks so good.
Yeah, let me see. Let me go this way.
Fine.
There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, this is
Look at that.
Good.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me.
Follow with me.
and me too.
And brother, there you go. Okay, so just to give you guys a setup of tonight, we actually have a very I don't know how to say, this is a perfect setup tonight. Like we are being treated like goddesses. So we have us here, we have a man here that loves and honors women. We're gonna talk more about that in a second. And then we also have a very beautiful man honoring us by serving us tonight.
Yes.
So if we need drinks, if
He's
you
been
need snacks,
Amazing.
if
He's
we
been
need
amazing.
drinks, he
He's
will.
been amazing.
He will deliver to
amazing.
us, our brother Shalom, and I'm very grateful that he's here. And very grateful for Farron too. So we it's a perfect balance today.
Yeah,
You're goddesses, and we're just gonna hold this space, talk about sex some more, and then have a male perspective also.
Oh.
Yeah. So can you introduce yourself?
My name is Farron Kidd, and I am CEO of Black OC, and you can find me on Instagram at The Black OC. That's simple. The Black OC on Instagram.
Yes.
Wow.
If you guys want to know what Black OC looks like, it's here. Isn't Farron awesome? I just love him. We're going to talk a lot more in the next episode, so stay tuned. Lead with love. Is